Hey everybody, this is Gary Ugarek. I'm writer-director of Deadlands The Rising, Deadlands 2 Trapped, and the upcoming DVD release of Thug Life All in the Game. Um, Hitting you up to talk about this, the limited edition Night of the Living Dead 1990 remake Blu-ray that came out. It's actually out a week early. A studio by the name of Twilight Times, they did the original Fright Night film Blu-ray release, has managed to really smurf up the Night of the Living Dead Blu-ray. I don't know, those of you that have purchased it have seen there's been some refiltering done to the film where they actually looks like some kind of they tried to, I don't know, it looks like the daytime shots were refiltered to look like day for night or something, but it really looks like, a Smurf ejaculated all over the goddamn screen. And it just really fucks it up. It really takes you out of the mood, especially if you grew up with this film, like I have, seen it in theaters in 1990, then having, excuse me, bought the VHS as well as the DVD over the years, and to end up with this real shitty edition, it kind of sucked. But supposedly Twilight is going to speak with Sony Pictures Entertainment, who owns Columbia Pictures, and see what happened with the transfer. Apparently, one of the original statements Twilight Time made was that the filmmaker signed off on it, but when Tom Savini heard about it through a gentleman that runs Synapse Films, apparently, according to that gentleman, through Facebook channels and some other, Tom was like, "Blue?" Yes, Tom, they smurfed up your Blu-ray. Which is kind of ironic. Blue tint on a Blu-ray disc, and it's blue is the color of Smurfs. Otherwise, okay, let's get down to brass tacks about the disc. It's a bare bones release. It actually recycles the commentary from the 1999 DVD release. There is a lot of cool little detail in the film. The Blu-ray editions actually get rid of this filtering problem that gives the film a blue tint. There's actually a really good looking movie in here, especially for a 22-year-old movie coming to Blu-ray. The DTS master audio track is actually pretty good. It's got a nice, I'd say a nice low frequency response to it. So there's some pluses, but the picture quality with this filtering just really screws it up. But those of you that don't know, there was only 3,000 of these ever made and released, and right now Twilight Times, which is the studio that licenses certain films, is kind of getting some backlash about the release in general. There are people who claim that they like it as is. I can't see that. I just don't believe anybody could actually like this film the way it looks right now, but hey, to each his own. Some people do some stupid shit, some people stay stupid shit. Some of the other cool things, there's no other special features on this other than the commentary and the isolated score track, but one of the cool things is you get a little booklet with the original movie poster on the back side, and this is actually a cool poster. I have the UK poster, which actually gave away a spoiler, but this little book actually goes into kind of great detail. Well, not going to say great, but a pretty decent detail about, the reason why this movie got made, basically more or less because of the copyright issues with the original 1968 Romero film. But the booklet has, some pictures, some wording about what, occurred. It talks about the changes to the story, especially with Barbara. And it actually talks about some other little tidbits, and then at the back, towards the back page, you get a nice collage of photos, and then they go down here and give the credits of who did what in terms of the thing. It says prepared for Blu-ray, released by Brian Jameson and Nick Redman. Well, they need to be fired because somebody really screwed with the telecine. To answer your question, no, Columbia Pictures / $Oni, as I refer to Sony, did not completely remaster the film, meaning that they took the answer print, which is the master print once the film's edited, and redigitize it and clean it up. Basically, they most likely took the original DVD HD master from 1999 and kind of just perked it up a little bit. So more or less, it's just a high definition render. The audio mix, though, had to be redone in order to convert it to DTS. So it's actually some pretty good shit. The nice part is, which you really can't see on the artwork, but down in here there's little boxes to let you know that this is a limited edition. There's only 3,000 copies available. The problem is they're sold out, and right now they're going on eBay for something like around, I don't know, $100 to $250, depending on if they're sealed or open. But the one thing is, you know, if you end up being the poor sucker that gets this, and you know the film throughout the years, especially if you'd seen it in theaters, the VHS, the DVD, when you see the refiltering, you're going to kind of cringe. It's pretty bad, and in my opinion, really destroys the feel of the film. And some people say Savini wanted a darker version, but then, you know, you listen to the commentary. Savini says that you know, he did want a darker version, but he liked the fact that it was a really bright sunny day because they started shooting in the spring of '89, I believe it was, and so he liked the contrast of a bright, shiny, sunny day, and then all of a sudden shit hits the fan, and you know, now you're stuck in a horror situation. But you know, the one thing I have to say I kind of dig is it's not an eco case. I mean, there's not a lot of pros I can give it, simply because the filtering issue is one of the biggest issues with it. But, you know, just beware if you do buy this disc on eBay and pay a premium dollar and you're a big fan of the original film and you own the DVD or the VHS or remember seeing it in theaters, just, you know, be prepared for the Smurf effect on it. But other than that, you know, Night of the Living Dead 1990 is a really great remake. It's an update of the original horror classic by Romero. A lot of what he had done, tweaking the screenplay, I think added a lot to the movie. Is it better than the original? No, but it's a worthy remake. You know, out of all the Romero remakes that are out, basically I consider Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and The Crazies to be the best remakes, and obviously the Day of the Dead remake is just a disaster. I mean, a disaster to the point they even rechanged the title to Day of the Dead, The Need to Feed. And the studio that helped produce that disaster of a remake is actually trying to remake their remake. So, but other than that, you know, this movie actually really got great reviews. The New York Times really liked it. Beyond Hollywood liked it. Tor.com liked it. You know, the rating that's on IMDb I really think is unjustified. I believe it sits around a 6.8. I would really give this movie more like a 7.5. I would have really liked to have seen, you know, and I know they didn't have the money at the time, but I would have really liked to have seen this shot in 2:3:5 to 1. Basically because I'm a huge fan of that aspect ratio, but I always thought that Romero's Dead films should always have been 2:3:5 to 1. The Cinescope format always seemed to really bring out that end of the world type of feel for apocalyptic movies. Some movies use it, some movies don't. I think this is one of those films that really could have benefited from being shot in 2:3:5 to 1, but back in the late 80s, you know, 89 when they started filming this, it was still very expensive to shoot Cinescope. But then again, you know, it's always a director's decision on how they want to shoot, so I don't know if Savini thought about using Cinescope. I've never asked him personally, and I've seen him at conventions. It's something I may bring up if I ever see him again. But, I mean, all in all, you know, it's Night of the Living Dead 90 is a great film in and of itself, just that I would avoid the Blu-ray at this point because you're going to end up paying a premium price. And the version from Vudu and Amazon, I believe, are a much better quality picture. Without the filtering. It's just that the sound is but you can order their versions on a Blu-ray and get them. But, you know, basically you open the case, this is what you get. And backside and the front side. But other than that, I give the picture quality a 2.5 simply because of the filtering. I give the audio I originally gave it a 2.5 when I wrote it on Facebook, but I want to bump it up to a 3.5 because it really does punch through when it needs to. There are some complaints about some low or missing sounds, especially when guns tend to run empty. I don't know if that was a sound mix problem with the DTS, if it got lost somewhere in the channels. I did notice it a little bit, but it wasn't enough for me to complain about it. Some others have really taken a thing to that, saying if Sony's going to remaster it to fix the sound problems, but I don't think the sound problems are nearly as bad as the filtering. So, again, Night of the Living Dead 1990 remake Blu-ray. At this point, I would say avoid it until there's a re-release, and we'll see where it goes from there. If you have any questions, post them below, and hopefully I can answer them, or some other yahoo that has a bone to pick with the movie, or likes the transfer and doesn't like my review of it, will answer it for you. Other than that, have a great night and happy October 1st, the best month of the year, of any year, period. So, Living Dead, zombies, Walking Dead coming out this month, new season. It's a great time of year. Have a good one. Bye.